Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today we're going to be looking back at some of the best mods of January and some new ones and some old ones. Some you probably already have. And what I use to determine what best is based on what you guys downloaded. Unique downloads, not the all downloads. But before we get into it, make sure you guys leave a like down on the video and subscribe for more content in the future. And without further ado, make sure you endorse mod authors because they really work hard for us to keep mods free. But let's dive right in. The first mod up is a magic mod by the one and only kitty tail named Dark Hierophant Magic, adding in 10 new spells for you to experiment with and have a little bit of fun with. And the best part is each spell is like a combination with the other spells to make something very deadly that's probably going to one-shot NPCs. To obtain these spells, the first thing that you have to do is actually craft them, which is very unique in my opinion. To get them, you have to go to the Ghostlight altar, which you can get to from the Forgotten Vale. But you do first need the Sapphire Paragon, so that does mean that you have to beat the Ice Giant, which shouldn't be too hard for you if you are inside the Forgotten Vale because that itself is pretty hard to get to, unless you cheated like me. These spells, even though they're a little hard to obtain, are 100% worth it, just based solely on the damage each spell causes. The only warning I would like to give though for people wanting to try this mod is that it is a little bright when you're casting. So unfortunately, if you have sensitive eyes, you might have to pass on this one. Especially the Ordinance of Light that summons a giant field of light that pretty much destroys everything in the area. And one thing I do want to mention is that this one is the most powerful spell in the pack because it does cost a lot of magicka to cast, and I had to use type of god mode just to reach it. But either way, I still 100% recommend this magic mod because it's by Kitty Tail, and because Skyrim at base is pretty boring when it comes to magic. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I should show this next one because it would literally be the third time I've showcased it. But this mod is named Tavern Maid by ELLE. Like I said, this is the third time I've showcased this and you might be a little tired of seeing it, but you guys did download it a lot, so it made the top of the mods. So here we are. Considering how many times I've actually had to showcase this, I've honestly considered just copying and pasting the previous video, but I'm not going to actually do that. This mod is a customizable Tavern Maid based outfit, hence the name. The reason why I say this is customizable is due to the amount of color variations introduced with this set. About 5 in total, all having their own color scheme. But you don't have to just wear one color, you can actually mix and match and make it as ugly as you want it to. Otherwise, if you prefer a good looking set, just wear the color scheme. It'll make a lot more sense then. But one thing I never actually mentioned in this mod is that it actually comes with its own custom jewelry that you can wear separate from the outfit. Next up is a pretty simple mod that changes the scenery up in your Skyrim, and one that I might actually be adding to my new list, which by the way is what I've actually been doing this showcase on so far. Not sure if you noticed because I kind of made it very similar. But anyway, back to the main point. This mod is called Shrubbery Symphony Enhanced Greenery by Alex. They have a full name but I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so they're Alex. This mod uses base object swapper to introduce new plants to your game. So if you're using a mod like Skyrim 3D plants and trees like me, it will show up due to the fact that it uses base object swapper. These plants also are high poly, so they can be a bit taxing on your PC with FPS, so mileage may vary. With me being on my 3070, I didn't notice any hit at all, but like I said, mileage may vary. There is also the replacer version, so it isn't just random replacements. The replacements will actually be static instead and consistent if you prefer that one. But I definitely recommend the base object swapper version so you can get different variations as you explore Skyrim, because otherwise it can get pretty boring. The next mod up is a special mod called Modular SMP Hairstyles by EVGAT. This mod has over 100 unisex hairstyles that all have their own unique physics. I'm not even sure if I need to explain what I mean by when I say physics, but I'll just say it. It means when you move, your hair will simulate movement like in real life, because in vanilla Skyrim, that isn't a thing, it's all static. Even though this mod introduces over 100 new hairstyles, it's really only about 11 hairstyles with over a dozen bangs that you can mix and match to find whatever style you want to. So that's why it's pretty much over 100 hairstyles. I'm not going to count each and every one to tell you the exact number, but I believe it's definitely over 130 just based on race menu. And yes, also because this isn't a wig version, because it's actual hair, the wig version will probably come later. So that means that you do need a new game or the race menu mod. Otherwise, you won't get to experience these new hairstyles, which I'm pretty sure you want to, otherwise you would have probably skipped this part of the video already. But then again, I don't want you to skip the video. But either way, you should go download this mod. Next mod up is a more complicated one that actually aimed to fix Bethesdas Mistake, something they barely even did right in their latest game. This mod is called EVGAT Dynamic Climbable Ladder Doors. Imagine if they didn't say EVGAT and used the full name instead. It probably would have the longest title name I've ever seen if it did that. This mod uses base object swapper to allow you to actually climb ladders in Skyrim, so all those ladders that you've seen in Skyrim with some kind of hatch above your character and you just kind of teleported outside, now you'll actually be able to climb those and see your character doing it while it happens. Of course I did break it a few times just testing things, but I'll be keeping those times to myself because this mod is perfect. But next up is a kind of an underrated immersion mod. Well, I probably can't consider it underrated anymore since it is one of the most downloaded mods of January. But this mod is called Unmarked Locations, Solstheim. This mod doesn't just add unmarked locations like the other ones in the series, it does that and makes them lore friendly to oblivion. So if you played that game, which I haven't, then you would definitely recognize some of these. Some people told me about that the last time I showcased this, but still haven't had the chance to play it yet. There are quite a few locations that are added by this mod, as well as all blended so well with the game that you probably won't even notice just by looking at them. You'll have to actually look at console, which just kind of fits in well with the unmarked locations part of the mod, even though that is the mod's name. But one thing I will say is that if you grab this mod, you may as well grab the other ones of the series, just so you can have the complete edition until the all-in-one comes out, which I assume is coming pretty soon considering I can't imagine another unmarked location part. But the next mod up is an armor mod by the name of Forgotten Princess, which is by Dent, but it was ported to Nexus and Skyrim by Daymar. This armor had base feature support for all the basic bodies like 3BA, and even the special underrated ones like Coco. Actually, for the people that actually use Coco, which is very few, let me know what you like about it so I can give it a try. This is one of those sets where you don't have to actually build your body slide before joining a game because you won't be invisible. This comes with one pre-built ready as soon as you join the game, but if you prefer your own rather than the pre-built one, then yes, you have to build your own unfortunately. This mod does require HDT because as you can see the claw parts do have physics of their own, but the most surprising part is that the wolf head moves as well. But I guess it is by Dent, and people do love them just for the attention to detail, and for their hair mods, which I don't think has been ported to Nexus yet, but maybe soon. But they are a little FPS heavy, but hey, if you want some new underrated mods that not everybody is using, check out Dent's Patreon. Most of their mods are free. This mod is pretty simple. This mod is called Safe and Strongbox Redone, and it's part of ElSopa's redemption arc. ElSopa textures were already pretty great, but lately they have become some of the best I've ever seen. If you see the word redone in it and it has ElSopa's name attached to it, then you know pretty much that you have to download it because it's gonna be great. This mod gives Strongboxes, which is those little boxes that you see around Skyrim, a new look, along with the safes as well in Skyrim. But honestly, you probably won't see any safes for a while because they are in the rich parts of Skyrim, and you probably prefer the dirty parts. The next one is actually a follower mod, which is one I covered before, but of course you guys downloaded it a lot, so you guys must have loved it. So here it is. This mod is named Val Serano. It features a pirate story and a greatly voiced follower. To even meet him, you even have to go on a small adventure, but of course that is 100% just the beginning of it. Everything else begins after you get to him. And like I said, it is a small adventure to get to him, but that adventure was pretty fun to me. I don't want to spoil it with my words, but I'm definitely going to spoil it with the pictures above. Val Serano features over 2,000 voice lines by Crimson Gray, hopefully I said their last name correctly. But Val Serano is also fully romanceable as well for the people that care about that. If you can get over him lying all the time, because at first I fell for the lies and then I found out he was lying and then that just started a whole nother adventure. But of course, to even begin the romance before you jump over things, you have to actually do the quests, which is something I like. It makes a romance actually immersive and worth it, rather than just a simple delivery quest and a hey, let's get married. And yes, I am speaking of Isolde lovers, considering she already had a crush on someone before you even married her. And who knows what they do together when you go adventuring. The next mod up is a mod named Guards Pose with Their Weapons by Girapamba. It makes it so NPCs will actually pose with any one of their equipment, such as their helmet or a weapon when they stand on guard, instead of always just standing around empty-handed. This mod also comes with its own animation set to make these immersive, because otherwise it'd pretty much be just like vanilla Skyrim without immersive equipment display, which I'm pretty sure we've all gotten used to using by now. And the great part is that this mod does require immersive equipment displays, like I just mentioned, but I'm pretty sure 99% of you already have it in your mod list, so this requirement shouldn't be that much work for you. And it also requires simple dual sheath just to make everything play smoothly. But you do need some things in IED to make things work smoothly, otherwise it won't work at all. I could make a guide for this, make it about 1 minute, but there is a guide on the mod page with pictures and everything because I suck at making guides myself. So it's probably better you listen to the mod author instead of me. The next mod up and the last great mod of this list is the Animated Ships of Skyrim by Viken. And of course this mod is just like their Striding Silk Striders mod, which is also by the way a very great mod that you guys should probably go download. This mod adds ships to the docks of Skyrim that actually move around in the water to make it seem like Skyrim finally has working ships instead of them always being docked. I used to wonder why no one ever made a mod like this, but now that it was finally made, I don't think it's going to be leaving my mod list anytime soon. This mod adds ships to Solitude docks of course, because I mean that's really the main dock that everyone thinks of when you say Skyrim. It also adds them to Riften dock as well, because that might be what Riften was needing because it was kind of boring before. As well as the Dawnstar docks, but I mean that's pretty obvious also because I mean it's Dawnstar. Honestly, it adds a lot of docks that I probably shouldn't be all listing, but it's all over Skyrim. But not only is it in Skyrim, it also adds them to the DLC lands like the Volkahar Castle and Solstheim. And because it added them to Solstheim, the author had to update to make the Striding Silk Striders also work with this mod, and that's why that one updated just recently. And I used to wonder why I did that, but now it makes sense. Alright, that was it for today guys. Let me know what you thought down in the comments because January in my opinion was a really great month for mods, but I know I can't be the only one to think so. But make sure you leave a like on the video if you enjoyed and subscribe for more content in the future. But as of right now, I hope you all have a great day. Peace and love.